Let's listen to this man. He got some good news for you. Hey, man, I listen. Hey, everybody, gather near. The doctor's in the house, so lend him your ear. The things he can say might even make your day. He might even help your pain go away. The doctor is in the house. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the doctor is in the house, bringing you part 2 of our docu-series where we talk about the paradox of a healthy decline. Why disciplined people still break down, why nobody dies of old age. And I'm here to tell you this is not about fear, but once you understand that aging is not a destiny and decline is not mandatory and disease is not inevitable, you regain your control. So, if nobody dies from old age, then aging is not the enemy, but ignorance is, and ignorance, I'm telling you, I'm trying to help you know that it ends here. So, welcome everybody to part 2 of this, probably a 4-part series. In the third part, we'll have Professor Peskin, and we may have a fourth part where we will have a question and answer system with the good professor. So let's get started, and I hope that this becomes really clear to you. So this episode we're titling "The Silent Collapse," and you can hear my podcast on docronradio.podbean.com. And of course, if you're a Substack subscriber, it's on docronradio.substack.com. And if you're not a subscriber, it's free, ladies and gentlemen. Please take advantage of it. So, understanding degeneration before it becomes disease. Welcome. And today we're going to talk about that. Something your doctor probably isn't. The invisible decline happening in your body right now, not tomorrow, not next year, but right now. We're going to dive into the silent collapse that begins at the cellular level, years and sometimes decades before any disease shows up on a lab report or a scan. And more importantly, we're going to arm you with the knowledge to detect it early and reverse it before it's too late. If you've ever done anything right, eaten clean, exercised regularly, taken your vitamins, and still felt like something was off, I've made this episode for you and hopefully get you some answers. So let's get started. And I'll get this. We'll go with the slide presentation. So degeneration is where it all starts. The timeline is cellular stress, chronic inflammation, functional decline, disease diagnosis, and that's the difference between a healthy cell and a damaged cell. Degeneration doesn't announce itself. There's no alarm bell. There's no warning light on your dashboard. It silently begins deep inside your cells. Oxidative stress accumulates. Your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, start to sputter. DNA repair mechanisms slow down. Inflammation quietly builds. And this is happening. Please listen. This is happening before you feel symptoms. These changes are at the cellular level. These cellular changes are the symptoms. It's just that we have not been recognizing them. Here's what's really happening. Your cells are screaming for help, but in a language most people and most doctors don't understand. Think of your body like a high-performance vehicle. Your mitochondria are the engine. The fuel is the nutrients, also sleep and energy that you provide. They are the nutrients. The oil, that's the antioxidant defense system. So now imagine driving that car for years
without changing your oil, with using a low quality fuel and never doing maintenance. Well, your car's still running, but only for a while, but performance slowly deteriorates. The engine starts knocking and the efficiency drops. Well, would you wait until your engine seizes up to take action? Would you really? Yet that's exactly what standard medicine does. It waits for the engine to fall completely before intervening, when prevention would have been so much simpler, so much simpler. So we want to intervene early. Well, your body is constantly communicating with you. The question is, are you listening? Are you listening? These are the early warning signals of cellular degeneration, persistent fatigue that is not fixed by sleep, brain fog that makes concentration feel like walking through mud, unexplained aches and stiffness that move around your body, disrupted sleep patterns, like trouble falling asleep, trouble staying asleep, or waking unrefreshed. Digestive changes that seem to come out of nowhere, mood fluctuations that you can't quite explain. These are not just stress, they are not normal aging. Here's what they are, though: they're distress signals from your cells, early alarms warning you that degeneration has begun. But here's what happens in most doctors' offices: these symptoms get dismissed. These symptoms get dismissed. Your labs look normal. It's probably just stress. Why don't you try and get more sleep? Have you considered antidepressants? Well, here's the problem: standard labs are not designed to detect early cellular dysfunction, they're designed to catch disease after it's already established. Do you understand that? The tests that you get are designed to detect disease after it has been established. How about this example that I know about: a 45-year-old patient? Well, just for sake of this episode, we'll call her Sarah. She comes to see the doctor. She's exhausted all the time, struggling with brain fog, gaining weight despite eating well and exercising. Her regular doctor ran a full panel. Yeah, I'm going to do all the tests on you. Everything came back normal. Thyroid, normal. Blood sugar, normal. Cholesterol, normal. So what do you do differently? Well, I recommended that she get tested for her cellular health markers. And here's what they found: her mitochondrial function was down 40%. Her inflammatory markers, the sensitive ones, not the standard C reactive protein, were elevated. Her cortisol rhythm was completely disrupted. Her antioxidant reserves were depleted. Do you think Sarah was normal? By conventional standards, yes. Was Sarah healthy? Absolutely not. When her cellular dysfunction was addressed with targeted interventions, when her sleep was optimized, when her inflammation was reduced, and when we reduced her inflammatory foods that supported her mitochondria with specific nutrients and managed her stress response, guess what? 6 months later, there was a different person. Her energy was restored, her mental clarity came back, and her wake up was normalized. What's the difference? The degeneration was caught before it became a disease. Okay. She had everything normal by a standard diagnosis, but not when you got down to the cellular diagnosis. Before she had the cellular labs, she wouldn't have been diagnosed with diabetes, thyroid disease, or autoimmune conditions. She would have been, I'm sorry. Down the years, years go by, and then finally they would find something they could diagnose. So that's why we want the new doctors to think at the cellular level. Think at the cellular level. And medicine misses early degeneration. They look for a disease, something they can bill for. And the system really knows how to treat diseases. And the normal labs are based on a sick population. They don't get people in optimal health don't get as many labs as sick people. And there are too many specialists. The care is really fragmented. So that's how medicine misses it. So why does conventional medicine miss this? It's not because doctors don't care. It's not because, but it is because the system itself has structural blind spots. Medicine is organized around diagnosing and treating diseases, not detecting cellular dysfunction. You need a different method. With the medicine method, with the allopathic medicine, you have to cross a threshold, a diagnostic line before the system recognizes you have a problem. You have high blood pressure, you get treatment. If you have your blood pressure is trending upward but still normal, you get nothing. You get nothing. Pre-diabetes, maybe some lifestyle advice, insulin resistance like 5 years before pre-diabetes, invisible to the system. What's population-based normal ranges? Well, your lab results are compared to a population average, a population that's 70% overweight, chronically stressed, and nutrient depleted. Being average in a sick population doesn't mean you're healthy, it means you're average. Optimal function requires optimal values, not average ones. You want to be optimal. Did you feel your best? When you were in your 20s, 30s, and 40s? That's what you want your labs to be, not average for your age. And the fragmented care, that's organ based. You see a cardiologist for your heart, an endocrinologist for your hormones, a gastroenterologist for digestion, but your body doesn't work in silos. It's an integrated system. Early functional decline that affects multiple systems simultaneously, falls through the cracks because no single specialist owns it. So, what's the result? By the time the disease is diagnosed, degeneration has been happening for years, sometimes decades. Think of it like a building inspector who only checks for visible cracks in the walls. They never inspect the foundation, they don't inspect the framing or the internal structure. Everything looks good until one day a wall collapses. Were there warning signs? Absolutely. The foundation has been settling. The framing has been stressed. Microfractures have been developing for years, but if you're only looking at the surface, you miss all of it. That's the conventional medical model. Surface level detection of late stage disease. We need to inspect the foundation. Fragmented care does not get to the root cause. When we wait for conventional medicine's threshold to be crossed, the consequences are profound. Treatments become aggressive because the disease is already advanced. What could have been prevented with lifestyle changes now requires multiple medications and maybe even surgery. Recovery is longer, it is less complete. Reversing established disease is exponentially harder than preventing cellular dysfunction. Preventable decline becomes irreversible. Some damage once done cannot be undone. If you lost your neurons and you have scar tissue, organ function that can't be fully restored. And here's what we don't talk about enough: the quality of life cost. Chronic disease doesn't just affect your body, it affects your mind, your mood, your relationships, your ability to show up as the person you want to be. The difference between catching dysfunction at the cellular level versus waiting for a disease diagnosis is the difference between making a U turn when you realize you're on the wrong road versus driving that wrong road for 20 years and then trying to find your way back. One is easier. So one is easy, the other one is impossible. So what's the solution? What is the solution? Well, that's the next slide. We act before disease appears. We support cellular health proactively, not reactively. Here's the protocol for cellular protection: optimize your sleep, your cellular repair window. Sleep isn't just rest, it's when your brain detoxifies through the lymphatic system, it's when your mitochondria repair themselves, it's when cellular cleanup happens. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is not a luxury. It's a biological requirement for cellular health. Number two, manage your stress response. Chronic stress floods your system with cortisol, accelerates cellular aging, and impairs mitochondrial function and drives inflammation. You don't need to eliminate stress. I know that's impossible. But you need practices that complete the stress cycle: movement, breath work, connection, and nature. Prioritize cellular nutrition. What does that mean? Your cells need specific building blocks: omega-3 fatty acids for membrane health, antioxidants to combat oxidative stress, B vitamins for energy production, minerals for enzymatic function. Whole foods provide these in forms your body recognizes. Processed foods provide calories without nutrition. Empty fuel. You can't run your car on it. It damages rather than nourishes. Reduce your toxins. We're exposed to unprecedented levels of environmental toxins, pesticides, heavy metals, microplastics, endocrine disruptors, and electromagnetic fields. Your cells weren't designed for this, ladies and gentlemen. Reduce that toxic load whenever possible. Drink clean water. That means you have to filter it. Try and eat as much organic produce as possible. Look at the EMF, not EMF, Environmental Working Group, EWG. Look at their list of the dirty dozen of vegetables. Look for non-toxic personal care products and definitely reduce your EMF exposure. And the slide's a little bit cut off here, but monitor your cellular health, not just the disease markers. There's more testing that can be done than your average healthcare provider will do. Advanced functional testing can detect cellular dysfunction years before conventional labs show disease. Mitochondrial functional tests, oxidative stress markers, advanced inflammatory panels, nutrient status and hormone balance. These look at your early warning system. Let me be specific about toxins because this is critical. Seed oils are ubiquitous in processed foods: soybean, corn, canola, sunflower. They're high in adulterated omega-6 fatty acids that drive inflammation and oxidative stress at the cellular level. Switch to olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, butter from grass-fed sources. And you'll want to hear the next episode with Professor Peskin when we talk about seed oils and what is essential and what is not essential and what dosage you really need. And if you listen to my regular podcast, I've talked many, many times about microplastics. They're found in our body now, in our blood, in our organs, even placentas. They disrupt cellular function and hormone signaling. So, if possible, please use glass or stainless steel instead of plastic, especially for hot foods and beverages. And I'm going to be going to my grave talking about electromagnetic frequencies. That's the ones from phones, from the Wi-Fi, from the wireless devices. They create oxidative stress in our cells. Put your phone on airplane mode at night. Use wired connections when possible. Distance is your friend from these devices. The further you are away from your router, the safer it is. I'm telling you, these are not fringe concerns. These are evidence-based cellular stressors that accumulate over time. Think of your mitochondria like your batteries. Every time you charge a battery incorrectly, put the wrong voltage, put too much heat, you degrade its capacity. Over thousands of cycles, what happens? The battery holds less and less charge. Your cellular batteries need the right inputs: clean fuel, protection from damage, regular maintenance. Give them that, and they'll power your health for decades. As it's been said, we treat our cars better than we treat our bodies. So protect yourselves. Protect yourselves. So here's the blue. What can you do starting today? Well, you can start sleeping 7 to 9 hours. Move your body daily, eat whole nutrient dense foods, manage stress intentionally. These are not optional, they are foundational. Recognize early warning signs. What does that mean? Stop dismissing persistent fatigue, brain fog, aches, or sleep issues as normal. They are not normal for your age. They are early warning signs. They are your early warning system. Listen to it. Don't accept, well, you're normal for your age. Do not accept that. Demand optimal. If your doc says your labs are normal, but you still feel terrible, get a second opinion. Find a practitioner who understands functional medicine and optimal ranges. And if you're feeling bad and all your tests are normal, you have a discussion with your physician to have advanced testing. Seek out testing that reveals cellular function, comprehensive metabolic panels, inflammatory markers, hormone testing, nutrient analysis, mitochondrial function assessments. That is what we call advanced testing. So take proactive control of your health. Don't wait for the medical system to save you. The medical system, and I've been part of it for 60 years, is designed to treat disease, not prevent it. You are the CEO of your health. Act like it. The silence collapse is happening in millions of people right now. I want to tell you, it's not inevitable. You can see it coming. You can understand what's happening, and you can act to prevent it. So I'm saying that the silent collapse is preventable. So here's the truth. that a lot of doctors and conventional medicine practitioners won't tell you. Your body is designed for health, not disease. But health requires the right inputs, the right environment, and requires a proactive attention. Medicine cannot fix what it doesn't see, but you can see it, you can understand it, you can act on it. The silent collapse happens in the dark when you're not paying attention, when you're waiting for someone else to tell you there's a problem. But after you're listening to this today, you're not going to let that happen, are you? Because now you know it is not inevitable. So I want you to stay vigilant, stay proactive, and remember the silent collapse is preventable, but only if you act before you get sick. Your health is not in the hands of the medical system. Listen to me. Your health is not in your doctor's hands. It's in your hands. You're the CEO. So I want to thank you for being here. I want you to go and take action. I have other real life studies I was going to talk about, but I think it's they're all the same. They go through and it doesn't act overnight. Michael took a year before he got back, but he got his energy, his clarity, and he went back to work full steam ahead. And what I've talked about today is not woo-woo. It's backed by research. A 2023 study in Cell Metabolism showed that mitochondrial dysfunction precedes metabolic disease by an average of 7 to 10 years. That would give you almost 10 years, a decade, where you could intervene to prevent disease. Research published in Nature Reviews found that chronic low-grade inflammation detectable with sensitive markers predicts cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and neurodegeneration years before somebody says you have heart disease or Parkinson's or whatever. Studies on environmental toxins show that microplastic exposure correlates with oxidative stress and cellular aging markers. The average person now consumes approximately 1 credit card's worth of plastic every week. And I just say every time I see a note to myself about EMF exposure, well, EMF research demonstrates measurable effects on cellular oxidative stress. This isn't fringe science, ladies and gentlemen. It is not fringe science. It's in reputable magazines. I tried to get it all together for you today. This is cutting edge research that hasn't been filtered into standard medical practice. But think today, now you don't have to wait for that to happen. Medical system is 10 to 15 years behind current research. 10 to 15 years behind it. Well, that's all for today. This is the end of part 2. If you like what you hear, I didn't have my video on as much as I usually do, but if you can go to my Substack, which is docronradio.substack.com, and subscribe, you'll see other articles that I have written about, and you'll be privy, you'll want to be one of the first to view part 3 with Professor Peskin, which is going to be dynamite. He's the world expert on fatty acids. He's the one that everyone wouldn't listen to in the beginning. Now we know he was right. So let's have Freddie take us home. Thank you for listening. God bless. Have a great day.
Hey everybody, Dr. Ron's finished for today. I hope you got some good wisdom for what the man had to say. If it's all about good health, he's the man you got to see. He has a lot more answers for you. So tune in next week when the doctor is in the house. When the doctor is in the house, let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house, the doctor is in the house, doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house.